This week's video is a continuation from last week's video, guys, where I compared single-let properties to HMO properties and which strategy to employ for renting. If you guys haven't seen that video, then I'll leave a link here for you guys to click on that. Otherwise, let's get started.
You know what you're watching. DS Learning Finance. Whoa.
As you can probably tell behind me, this is the property we're gonna find. So the way I found the property was actually going on Rightmove. Typed in Leeds City Centre property for sale. Okay, I stretched out my radius to 5 miles. Price range, I wanted to keep it 60,000 so I could get a mortgage and keep it relatively low, so 80,000. Just for simplicity reasons, we're going to choose like a 3-bedroom property. So I'll set that to the minimum, set that to the max, so I get only properties that are three bedroom households. And then pick houses, include under offer, sold, STC, and so on. Search, find properties. Now what Rightmove likes to do is that arrange it in all sorts, which is very frustrating, but me, I'm a money man, guys. I like my lowest price, so I go to the lowest price. I go to the lowest price properties and scroll down. Lord and behold, it's literally the first one. So that's how you find it. Now, what actually makes this property suitable as a single let over HMO? Well, to me, I like to look at location first. The location of the property is so important. And the perfect example is the property market in London, guys. Landlords are able to charge 400, 500 pounds, well, wad of cash, as in terms of rent, just for people to basically get a box of a room. Like after you fit a bed in there, maybe a TV, and even at a push, a desk, yeah, you haven't got much left in terms of floor space. It's crazy, guys, but clearly shows the value of location in the property market. Very important. So with that said, I actually like this property, guys, because it's got a bunch of options. It's got a bunch of choices for you to choose from. So now I want to actually prove to you guys why this property's location is really good. First and foremost, we need to put this property and find the address of this property. Now, as you can see, it just gives literally the street name, which isn't ideal, because what you particularly want is the postcode or door number, preferably. The street could be a really long street. So what you do is you literally click on this broadband link here. It opens up this, and then click on compare broadband deals. That opens up a link, hopefully. Yeah, and Lord and behold, you will find the postcode there. So that postcode, I've already put it straight into Google Maps, and it basically gives me there, that little pin. That's where this property is located. But as you guys can see, I can see a plethora of things. So that just further shows that this property is in a really good location. So the things that really stick out to me for properties in general are supermarket chains. Are major supermarket chains close by? Major franchises? Are there restaurants nearby? How far away is the local train station? And just from looking at this picture, guys, you can see that it ticks all of those boxes. It's this spot for choice. Let's just put it that. But you could argue, what is the difference between this as a single let and this as a HMO? Because as a HMO, you'd want just as many things. Now, the key part is here, guys. In the property, when you look at the properties, there's actually schools around. This is what distinguishes between a single let property and a HMO. Schools. You've got one school there. I think there was another school somewhere there. Scratch that. There's a school over there. So like, you're spot for choice. And there's even a school over there. And not only that, but parks as well. So the whole area is surrounded by little parks. Cool. So let's say this property has very good location, which I believe it does. And we're ready to dive in deeper. What next, guys? Well, then I like to actually look at what the property has to offer. So what do the photos show? Pre-warning, guys, this property is not particularly ready to rent out like that. But what I want you to focus on is the potential. It would probably require some refurb work. So before I actually go into the property, I like to look at the outside. What does the outside have to offer a family over HMO? This is because in general, family single-let properties better utilize the garden space as opposed to HMOs. Think about it. The fact that they use it more probably means that they value it more than HMO tenants, which also probably means that they're going to maintain it more. Just cast your memory back to when you were maybe like a student, or maybe you were a professional. The last thing that you want to do is gardening, guys. But when you cast your memory forward, maybe you don't have a family, or maybe you already have a family. You're going to have more time to put your care and passion into that. So that's why I typically like to avoid garden space when it comes to HMO tenants. But in this case, it's a single let, which means, yeah, it's good. And to me, this property has a lot to offer. Now, what you have is a front lawn, guys, in this photo. It may be a manky one, but it's the vision. It's the vision. Just focus on the vision, okay? that we work with, guys. Cool. So there's possibility for that. But also, when you go to the backyard looks kind of decent. You know, it could do with some touch-ups here and there, but it looks reasonable size. It's a good sized garden. You've even got a bench there as well, so it's just ticking all the boxes for it. I didn't even mention it, but you could also use the front lawn, compound that area out or section a bit of it, and use that as an actual car parking spot. That's what we did for our property in Corby, guys. Once the outside of the property makes sense, it's then justified to go inside the property. That's what I do. So as you're flicking through these photos, guys, you need to be asking yourself multiple questions. Are these rooms big enough? Does the floor plan, oh, that's fine, needs refurb, okay? But vision, guys, vision. But yeah, like, are these rooms big enough? Is there a lot of potential? Does a floor plan even make sense in the first place? A lot of people don't look at that sort of stuff. What are the small issues? What are the large issues? Ironic that I'm flicking through that. What has the property got going on for it? Things along this nature you should be asking yourself, guys. Don't forget floor plan, because it just has to make sense. We can't go back to student days where, like, you open the main door and maybe that's a bedroom. We can't go back to them times. Maybe for a HMO, because it's not really that fast, because your room is basically your living area. But as a family home, it needs to at least make some sense, guys. After all of this is done, guys, what I like to do is call up agencies, confirm this. So are all my suspicions correct? But then I also like to do a little thing. I like to call from both perspectives, guys. So maybe I might speak to one agency as a landlord and then another agency as a potential tenant. Get views from both sides of the same coin and basically bombard them with a lot of questions. The more questions you ask, the better of a picture you can paint. All these questions will paint a better picture to help you determine what's the best strategy to employ for that property. It's your favorite YouTuber, guys, Danny Solari. I talk about stock market investment, property investments, financial management too, giving you guys that consistent content, you know, before you guys can go about doing whatever you're going to do for the rest of the day. Say it with me. What? Like, subscribe and share, people. DS Learning Finance. Whoa. Bye, guys.
Whoa.
Ah!